Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar event. We are excited to launch the Value Stack series, a space where we'll break down the real value Bluebricks brings to enterprises through our solutions. In each session, we'll highlight key areas like security, compliance, automation, and customer experience, and show how these translate into measurable impact for businesses. The goal is simple: to make complex technology easier to understand while focusing on the outcomes that matter most, that is, trust, efficiency, and growth. We're kicking off the Value Stack series with a critical focus: employee security. Employees are the first line of defense against cyber threats, yet credential theft is rising faster than ever, fueled by AI-driven attacks. In this session, we'll explore how leaders can strengthen security culture and create seamless security experiences that protect both people and businesses. So a quick introduction. I'm Upasna, the CEO and co-founder of Bluebricks. And with me, we have Vikram Sareen, who is the CTO and co-founder of Bluebricks as well. We at Bluebricks accelerate businesses worldwide with security and automation solutions to unlock the hidden potential for a safer, better future for all of us. Before we dive deeper, just some housekeeping rules. First is please do stay engaged and keep asking your questions if you have any. Second is please do just a quick technical check. If you're not able to listen to, if your audio or video is not going well, you could just refresh or restart. And we are recording this session and we will be sharing the recording with you later on. To start with, we just want to put it out there that a culture of security costs lesser than a single breach. And let's think about it for a moment. The average cost of a breach is around 4.5 million US dollars. And I'm sure that if you build a culture of employee security, if you put the right checks and processes in place, it's going to cost much lesser than that. So starting out, we're just going to understand a little bit more with examples of, we'll take some current examples from this year and late last year. We'll talk about the problems. We'll consider all the different aspects and what should you consider while you're evaluating solutions. So let's get in. Vikram, would you like to just walk us through the different use cases that we've put here?
Yes, sure, Sana. Thank you so much. And I think, as Sana said, that it's all about culture. It's all about, employees, and employees build the culture, and culture is what is good for the company, for the strategy point of view, right? Now, if you look at these companies, 5 that we have picked up, and look at the dates when, their attacks have happened or when they have disclosed it, it's all in this year, May all the way to September, and these are not small companies, these are big companies. But when you really look at it, what has happened over here, the word rogue, it was kind of an internal job or something which was, like a unsatisfied employee or somebody who was, planted over there, possibly state sponsored or not. So over here, rogue employee accessed the system. If you look at JP Morgan, if you look at TD Bank, a former employee, that means if somebody is already not in the company, then why they were there, right? So why their account was still active. So then UK Finance, if you look at it, there was the 4 staffs actually picked up a lot of, I would say regulated data. Now that's a serious, it's got a serious implication. Even if you look at, our Australia NSW, there was by mistake, there was a configuration error which actually exposed, doctors' credentials outside. So definitely these are something which have, come in. And there are many, many more case studies, which we can look at that. Now, I think this is where, we need to think that a rogue employee cannot just bankrupt your company, because company is regulated, not the employee, right? Directors are responsible, not the employee. And they can betray the, the community or the country or the state. Now that obviously has a much serious implication if you're doing, or serving the country for purpose, not for purpose, whichever way. So that is very, very critical. Now the other aspect is that many times, employees are not aware, they are gullible, so they kind of, click into some link, they get into, fished, or there's a phishing now, which is, voice, phishing, where AI is used. So if you look at these examples, again, big names: Hawaiian Airlines, United Health, Qantas from Australia. Now this one is very interesting because this was a third-party call center which actually, was having a staff, and they, mismanaged the data, or they lost credentials. Now, same thing happened across all of them. What it reflects is that it is not that we expect the employees to be super smart and, become the cyber experts, but it's something which does happen. Credentials do get stolen, or they get lost, or the systems were not strong enough to give them the right security, which kind of failed, right? So again, every major breach, I think 86 to 90% of breaches which have happened have started with a compromised staff access. Now, it could be physical, it could be digital, doesn't matter, but that is what is the starting point. So that's a big number, if you really look at it, and it is very, very true. Now, going a little bit further down, so what went wrong in this, 10 big, large companies and many more, and what possibly can go wrong in the future? Now, that can be you, that can be a company next door to you. And this is a list of things that typically, which are to do with either credentials, getting stolen, or so on and so forth. So I think, Sana, would you like to add anything over here, or should I go a little bit faster and cover more slides?
I think we're going at a good pace. I just wanted to mention that it is very real, because the reason why employees go rogue is either there's a lot of pressure, they have very tight deadlines, and they feel pressurized to take shortcuts. A shortcut equals to a breach. There's always something that goes wrong over there. There's pressure, there's also pay. They could be, like you've mentioned here, bribery and coercion. They do occur because, they may be bribed by somebody. Maybe they have their own debts or loans to pay for. So it's a very real scenario, and we have to trust our employees. We just have to verify the access. So moving on from this slide.
Very true. And I think it's also a thing about, the people and the process, right? And also whatever product you can buy in, you could have best of the breed, but then if you're buying an expensive car, but then the driver is not right, or the driver is drunk and driving, right? Or they're not following the rules. So there is always this, the triple P, which is the people and the processes, and also the product, or the tools that you're using. So
driving, the processes and the products are people. So really, your employees are at the front. They are the front line. So it's very important to truly understand how do you secure them.
Yeah, very true. And I think this slide kind of sums it up very well, that without identity first, because we need to know who you are, and then going towards the employee protection, right? So it's not just about, okay, here's an employee, I've onboarded them, and then now they're protected. No, who is the person, right? Are you the right person? It starts from there, and then onboard them, and then give them the access based on the role that is being given to them. And the best thing which I've observed, Sana and everybody listening right now, is that it's also that your role changes based on what you do. So you might have different roles for the specific applications that you have within the company, right? So, and you might have different credentials around it. In a bank, typically there are 70, 80 applications that are used. In a hospital, there could be at least 25 apps that are used. In a normal enterprise, you at least have 20 apps which are used, for day-to-day business that goes on, BAU. So companies risk, stolen credentials, inside fraud, vendor abuse, because you have third parties who are accessing in, then legal penalties, because you are regulated. Everybody's regulated, whether you know it or you don't know, it's a different story, but everybody is regulated, and we should know what regulations applies to me as a business, right? If I'm in banking, if I'm in health, if I'm a lawyer, if I'm an accountant, I should know what my obligation is. If I'm in HR, recruitment, so I should know that, because that brings in the legal penalty, and ultimately, it's the the loss of business trust and continuity that can damage or hamper. Yeah. So going forward, I think I'll take on few of the slides. Where we will talk about United Tech. So obviously there's so much tech that can come in and help out, and then what is the core, that needs to be served, and then what are the considerations that you should be making, when you're going and deciding. Now you might be a large company, you might be a small company. The scale might differ, your processes might differ that you want to put in place, whether you're located in one place, you're more physical or you're digital, but it does apply to you very much. So please, look at the considerations very well. So as a starting point, any security solution that you're going to look at, it should have means to protect people and the access to the data, right? You have documents which have possibly sensitive data, who are going to access, what is your role, how long you can access it for, and then giving the right access at the right time. That's very, very critical. You should not give access forever, right? Give access for a week or 2 weeks or 1 month if you're a vendor or a third party, and your internal team might have get more, and then keep it going. Why? Because we need to protect the identity and data. Yeah. Now, okay, from our point of view, from Bluebricks, we have built this 9-year-old product, mature product, that is ISO certified. It has a lot of standards that is comply with. Why standards? Standards prove that you are doing what is being accepted by the market. It is proven. So that's why you should follow standards, and that's what we have done with our product and other products. So you see some stuff over here. I'll ignore it. But then what it does is that it actually helps you, all your apps within, on the cloud, on premise, kind of hybrid, and then you have all these different needs that will come in, which we'll cover in the next slides, that all get catered from here, right? And you will not choose something just based on what features it has. It has to follow standards, which we covered, and it also, what is the business model it is available to me, right? Based on the business I'm running, or the way I actually conduct my per user billing, or per subscription base, because I have very high volume. And then what is the ROI and RBAC? Again, we'll touch upon that later. So Axiom Protect, if you, or any other product that you would choose, is I love to use the analogy of army. You need to build your army, right? Now that would be set of people. There will be set of processes, policies that you'll put in place, and you'll also have products that are going to help you out. Now, consolidation is very, very important going forward for 2 reasons. One is consolidation brings your cost lower. Consolidation also reduces the legality, the SLA, the time, and the cost much lesser. So instead of, many companies organically have been buying A, B, C, D, E, but instead of that, if you take everything under one, then it helps you to save a lot of money and time and effort and everything, right? So now in this case, you have a big general, so we would call it Major General, and then that has amazing soldiers which are going to help you out. Yeah. So the most important one, we will not try to cover everything over here. We'll just be sensitive to time. The most important is identity, not IPs, right? You have a lot of systems which are going to do network level security for you, which is great. You should have that. But now hackers have moved into the next level, which is identity and data theft. Yeah. Okay. Your employees are coming from their Windows, Mac machines, from their devices. They are connecting to Wi-Fi. They are working from home, so they're connecting to VPN or remote access, right? Or you have exposed certain web applications, they are connecting to that. You have certain legacy applications which they're also connecting to. So now, if you really, really look at it, the most element aspect over here is that you need to bring a stronger security as a day-to-day routine for every employee that you have, wherever they're accessing from, within the office, externally, A system, B system, doesn't matter, cloud, on-prem, doesn't matter, you have to have right security. Now, I will not take too much time, but these are other elements which also come in and help you out to fortify your this thing. So like legacy accounts, having too many alerts, your third-party vendors and contractors that being managed, just-in-time access, single sign-on experience, multi-factor, how long will they get access to, certain policies being enforced, then help desk, because that you will have, and that's where hackers are attacking quite a bit. So looking at help desk and self-service in a very, very critical way to, to help you out, and then take it forward. Yeah. So I'll try to go a little bit faster here. So in essence, the strongest defense is not a single platform that unifies every layer of employee securities, because then you'll have too many. So better is that you have one trusted shield, which basically covers identity, access, and data all in one. Yeah. So that is the way the world is moving. That is the market trend. That is the way things are going to happen. It's going to save you a lot of money, time, and effort also.
And
Now,
it also closes, it also closes the gaps that there might be, because when you get multiple vendors and you're organically adding systems, there are inherent gaps that get created in your processes and how data is flowing, even for audit trails. And so it really helps you sort of streamline everything and bring it all together.
very true, Sana. Very true. And I think that that leads to the next point, that when you're looking at the system, right, as you rightly said, that what is the way we're going to evaluate it? What is going to be my assessment, right? So, instead of your assessment, I should say my assessment. If I'm going to, be the CIO, CTO, or for a smaller company, possibly a GM technology, or the founder themselves, right? So you have to look at this whole radar over here, and we'll talk about that towards the end, but this is something which you have to look at. What is my priority? How will be the adoption? What will be the user experience? What is the compliance that I'm being forced, and whether it meets that criteria or not, right? So all those things you have to consider before jumping into and saying that I will use it. Don't just buy because somebody is giving you cheap. Don't just buy because it's available online, or because Microsoft says it. So so no, do your evaluation, find the right solution that fits you, and then take it ahead, right? Now, going to the next one. Susanna, I think this statement is what we were discussing. I think this is so well positioned and written that when security is scored across cost, culture, compliance, and continuity. So it's not just one thing that you have to look at, which is most of the time cost, or let's just copy what others are doing. But then only unified platforms can actually be the true winners, right? So that is the line of thought which we feel one has to look into when they are moving ahead and embarking on the journey, right? And then I think trying to cover the last aspect before we dive a little bit deeper onto a few other things. The true value of security platform isn't just the low cost, right? It's also, does it help me reduce the risk? The adoption, is it seamless? Is it super easy? Is it actually ready with the regulatory compliance that I need to do? Because that keeps on changing. After 1 or 2 years, if you see most of the regulators, they keep on bringing out new stuff that you should follow, right? And then lastly, ability to grow the business, because that's why we are doing it, right? If it helps me grow the business, not hinder my business, that's the right way to evaluate. Now, I think we are doing good with time. Let the Q&As come in. This slide is something which we would suggest as Bluebricks, that what you can immediately after this webinar, you can go and check, right? So again, those 10 points are very relevant. I'll start with the last one, because that really puts everything in perspective. KPIs, right? So your processes, your team, product should have a KPI. So if you're having MFA covered, it should cover 99%, right? Odd ones will be there, but you should not bring in an MFA system which only works with 20 or 80% of your of your employees, right? It should cover 99%. Then time to revoke. Let's say you find out that, oh, this person has gone for a maternity leave, or this vendor is no more serving us. Then how quickly can you revoke them? Because that's where a lot of hacks and attacks happen. And then public exposure fixed. So if you found out, oh, there's a vulnerability which is being told, or there's a patch being made available, how quickly we can do that, right? So these are very, very simple metrics, and these KPIs is something which is unique to each company. We obviously help a lot of companies find their set of KPIs, but they are the best way to measure whether your security, whether your culture, whether your people security is working well or not, right? So then another aspect is where you look at this one, where if you're looking at MFA, because right now most of the attacks which hackers are doing, they're using AI, they're using session stealing techniques, man in the middle attacks, and they are looking at re-registering MFA onto their devices, or stealing the SSO JWT tokens. So that means if the user is moving from one to another using the self-service portal or whatever way, you need to have then move one to another. Now, this will eliminate a lot of things that are required for you to run your show in a very, very good way. Again, all the 10 are very, very important. There can be list of 20 also, but this is something which we would like you to do. And I think, Sana, I'll pass it to you to take on the next slide, at least the first part, to share, what we do or what we have free stuff, that we want to give to, all the attendees.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Vikram. Yes, thank you so much, everybody who joined in today. And as a token of gratitude and thank you, we wanted to share some, some freebies that we are happy to offer to everybody here. Vikram, can you just put all of those up so it's easier? So first, we would like to do an ROI and compliance saving calculator. We would love to share it with you. Please do get in touch with us. Send us an email at connect@blue-bricks.com. It's on your screen with the subject line as Employee Security Gift Access. We would love to share a compliance savings calculator, a 45-minute free security assessment session where we would, we can quickly review what checks you currently have in place and what gaps you might be having. So we can just do a quick assessment. We are very happy to share a freemium for small teams up to 15 users, and also to startups who are less than 3 years old. We would love to extend it. You can extend it on to your clients as well. And the entire concept of our value stack series and going live on LinkedIn is to be able to share. And this is a way to not just share the information and knowledge that we have, but also to share what we have in terms of what you can really use, make it real for you, help you really understand where you currently are, what you can do.
Yeah.
Vikram, do you want to cover the other three?
I think we have run out of time, but I'll just cover one of these. So we will help you with compliance protection. So if let's say you are under PCI DSS or if you're under, GDPR, so we can help you map it, whatever you have, over there. And then second one is identity risk scorecard. Now this is something where you can really pick up what is your current posture, right? What you're doing right now, and how good or insufficient it is, and then what are the gaps, and then fill them, right? Nobody's zero, but nobody's 100, right? Because we are evolving. Change is the only constant, right? So please take advantage of that. And then the last one, possibly over time you have built certain components, certain apps who have their own security going on, but moving forward you want to bring it all under one unified platform, right? Now that means there is certain migration that you need to do, or possibly you're paying too much because every year the cost of IAM systems are going higher and higher, and your IT budgets are shrinking. And another culprit over there is the AI. So AI is eating up a lot of budget. So obviously IT security is suffering a bit. So we will help you to look at the migration strategy and do the assessment with you, and then figure it out what is the best way for you to migrate, or taking your old systems, or current systems into the new platform, and then decommission the old one. So this is something which many companies don't go for, because and they keep on paying more and more every year. But this exercise will really tell you that you are not in that bad a position. You're quite in a decent position, for a simple reason. Why? Because typically standards are used across the market, right? So if we are using standards, other companies are too. So the migration is not that much of a big of a pain. So it's not like a heart surgery. So you can definitely go through it, like a little bit like a stitches. Yeah. So now I think, Sana, we have kind of run out of time, but
Yes, so what we'll do is that all the questions that have come in, we will be sharing them with the answers in the comments box of this
yeah.
even after this is done.
Yeah, lovely. So I think with that, thank you so much. I think all of you, and look forward for more that will come from us. Sharing more of use cases, sharing more of what value stack we are building over here, and helping the businesses become better, feel more secure, feel more protected, feel more in control. And that is what you should have. Don't have fear of missing out, but have the joy of enjoying it, right? So with that, thank you so much, and have a lovely day ahead.
Thank you so much.